So my name is Justin Gonsalves, Vice President of Maintenance. PJ Helicopters has been around for 50 plus years, incorporated in 1968. Started off as a small fixed-wing ag spraying company actually, and it has evolved into a pretty diverse rotorcraft fleet. We do primarily firefighting and utility construction work. 38 active rotorcraft from the MD-530s all the way up to the Chinooks behind me. We've always been a huge fan of the Bell platform and currently operate 16 407s with another on the way, the 429s. And then the Blackhawk obviously is making its mark on the utility and the fire sides. Heavy lift assets historically are very difficult to get in the heat of a very busy fire season. The 47 was for us the obvious choice. It's current production aircraft. So far it's worked phenomenally. I feel like PJ's faces a lot of similar challenges with other industry folks. We have a lot of historical data, and you know, you talk to the OEMs and they always say, well, help us forecast and we can get you parts if we know what you're going to need. And we say, well, it's not that easy. You know, we never know when the phone's going to ring. Our hours vary year to year based off of the fires specifically. For us, we have the historical data, we have some averages that we work off of, but the unscheduled piece can always catch you know, off guard. So, especially from a budgetary standpoint. It's a challenge. We have a built-in kind of unscheduled per hour cost, but that cost doesn't capture the ebbs and flows. You know, one year you can end up with a huge overage and then the next year way behind. Part of the GPMS system, the advantage to us is being able to predict a little bit more and kind of see things ahead of time and get ahead of that unscheduled stuff. There's a lot we've learned, a lot of data. The more aircraft we get out there with the system installed, the better the data is going to be, or the more it's going to make sense. We've had to learn how to kind of incorporate the data into our daily operations and how we're going to interpret it and what we're going to do about it. Trying to make sure we're all speaking the same language and understanding what we're seeing has been a learning curve for sure, but it's definitely helped us in a lot of regards. The evolution to everything being on this phone that's in my pocket has been, it's a game changer. And now the remote monitoring from the GPMS stuff it just ties right into that. The technology is a game changer for safety and being able to keep up with these things as they're working around the country. So we're just scratching the surface of what it can do.
JT Lee, and I'm a team lead for the phase and rebuild sections on PJ Helicopters. How they shrunk it down so small and so light versus what the current military system is that they're flying with. The GPMS system seems to do more at a real-time data transfer versus having to do more downloads via computer. One thing about the system is ease of installation and understanding the directions. It was really easy to understand, laid it out on the table, it's pretty self-explanatory. Any questions we did have, there were pictures provided, and we are all about enhancing revenue. So getting the data that we can get from the system on real time after shutdown, we can know, hey, you may want to look at this bearing within 200 hours. The problem is those parts are 9 or 10 months away from being manufactured. And so all of that has to get there, and if you can program that in 300 hours prior, you can place it in a system and have it on order and not have to pay those high cost of AOG components. It's the customer service piece is really the big deal with GPMS. If I need something right away, or I have a question, or I've got something that I don't think is working quite right, you can call them. They can pull up your data real time. They can tell you exactly what's wrong with it.
My name is Joe Tierno. My position at PJ's is UH-60 Program Manager. When I heard that it was getting it installed on our fleet, I couldn't be happier. These aircraft originally came with a HUMS system when the Army had them, and it just really wasn't kept up to date. There wasn't a support on that system. So hearing about GPMS, I was very excited to get them on the HUMS. What I'm really looking forward to with the system is a lot of the high-speed shaft balances and the main rotor and tail rotor balance. There's multiple different kits and products out there to do the balances, but there's really not one built for a specific helicopter. So with the data and information we're getting from GPMS, I think we will be able to tailor it to a Blackhawk specifically, and that should help with keeping the aircraft up and available. GPMS has been knocking out of the park. PJ has always been on the innovative side and constantly moving forward in the utility space, but also staying on top of safety. I think teaming up with GPMS is hitting both those right on target. It's proactive in kind of a world that things are more reactive. So I think being proactive, getting this HUMS system on the Blackhawks is going to keep PJ's moving the same way it's always been. Keeping the aircraft and the people as safe as possible, and also being innovative and staying ahead of the times and making sure we're there on time.